Hello everyone, it looks like we are live. It looks like audio is working. Tonight we are going to be working in acrylics on this super cute ghost, I and his best friend. If you do not already have the reference photo, it's actually digital painting I did, not last night, night before. Was it last night? I don't know what night it was, whatever, he came out cute. Head over to patreon.com/lacree. You don't have to be a member to get this photo. It's free for everyone. The line art and the reference photo are both there. Tonight I'm working on a Fredrix. This is a, oh, I actually threw the thing away because I got paint all over it. This one is their painted over it. Wait, does it say on the back? The Pro Series. Yeah, this is the Pro Series canvas board. These ones are way thicker than most canvas boards. So if you've ever worked on a canvas board from like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, they warp really bad. You suddenly have a boat instead of a flat canvas. The Fredrix ones aren't as prone to doing that. Of course, if you put it in water, it could eventually probably, or like a bathroom, I'd imagine it would start to warp. But under normal circumstances, I've never had an 8x10 warp. I've had the 16x20. I've gotten big ones, and because I didn't store them properly over the years, that did. But the point is, they're not prone to it, whereas most other kind of generic or lower quality canvases are going to have, when you work with canvas boards, they just don't hold up well, and that's why I don't use them other than Fredrix. They're the only brand I use anyway, so there's that. So thank you to Fredrix for providing this for us for this demonstration. I'm going to, let's see, I'll be using Liquitex Basics. Everything I'm using is listed in the video description. What else do we have to go over? Oh, if you want to own this, you can bid on him. Starting bid is $75. It's going to be cute, I promise. Link is in the video description. The bidding will go on until the live stream is over at 10 p.m. So this one would be a really fun one, whether it be for your Halloween decor or if you're weird like me and would just display it all year long. It will come varnished, and you can see on this one, the varnish gives it a beautiful gloss. This is last week's painting, so you can see how pretty. It just brings the colors out and makes it so nice and rich. This, if you remember last week, we could hardly see the raven. Look how good it's more teal in person than on that, but look how much that stands out once you get that varnish on. It looks so pretty. Okay, let me move this out of the way so I don't accidentally splash anything on him. That's not the safest space. That's a much safer space. I need to get him shipped out. And I don't know, is what is it, 1SGWW? Her painting got lost. There was a mix-up with the address. It was a whole thing. So I painted it for her over again, and this one is the repaint. It looks just like the first one. So actually, it's a little bit better than the first one because I spent a lot longer making sure it was perfect. But there we go. That one is coming. So yay there. We've got some fun art questions for after the video. Also, we'll be doing a squawk box opening with French Fry. So he'll be visiting us later after all of this is done to see what his October box, it should be Halloween themed. I'm going to be really disappointed if it's not because that's what it's supposed to be, and I'm really excited about it. So we'll be looking and seeing what comes for his Squawk Box subscription this month. And what else? So if you have a bird, this may be of interest to you. Let's see, or a shoulder chicken as I call them. Let's get started on the background. So you'll notice that I do not have the ghost painted in yet. I am definitely going to have to adjust white balance and all that once we get started, but I don't have the ghost or anything drawn in. If we try to paint this background and we're painting around the subject, you're not going to have a good time and your background is going to look very blotchy. Now, if you're going for a really loose brushstroke type look, that would not be a problem because you're leaving your brushstrokes. Here, I'm not trying to do that, so it's better for me not to even draw my ghost in yet until I get the background painted in. So I'm going to be using dioxazine purple. I've got unbleached titanium white, black, and red oxide are currently on my palette. I've got, these went on sale actually. As of right now, when I checked, the price was better than Prime Day. So, you know, check these out. The mop brush that I use, which is really a powder brush, they are on sale, like seriously, for an insane cheap price. Check out the link in my video description if you are watching this live because, oh my gosh, I bought two, but I kind of feel like I should have bought more because you always need a lot of mop brushes. And I'll be showing you how we use that if you're unfamiliar. I've got my Fine Mist sprayer ready to go so I can keep this wet. And let's get going. I want a tack on bristled filbert. Now, one of the things you will often see on painting videos is somebody using these brushes. Oh, hold on. Let me back up. We have a, look, they already know. Look at those heads pop up. Your head is under a leaf. What are you doing, cow? Do you want a super chat? Kirsten sent you guys a super chat. Thank you, Kirsten. If you're new, super chats earn my hounds treats. We've got chopped sweet potato again. There we go. Okay, take those to your bed. Go lay down. Go lay down, cow. Thank you so much. Okay, so back to the these mop brushes. So you will often see videos where people are taking these brushes and they're actually applying the paint with it and they're doing these little squirt. Stop it. Just stop. You're making, like, these absorb so much water and so much paint. The only thing they should really be used for, unless you're cool with wasting paint, and I don't know in this economy who can afford that, someday the economy is going to be good and I'm not going to be able to make that joke anymore. And I'm going to be a little sad, but also really happy. Lay down. So down, cow. These you want to use, we're going to use this to get rid of our brush strokes, not for applying the paint. When you apply the paint, they are just like sponges. You will have, like, you waste so much paint, so much. I mean, wasting water, it's not enough water that I'm that worried about, but it wastes a lot of paint. So this is not what we're going to apply or mix or anything like that ever. There's never, ever, ever a case where I think this is a good brush to apply paint to the canvas for, ever. And now, I'm not saying that it can't be done and look good. I mean, I've seen the videos. There's a guy who does it all the time, and his stuff is beautiful. But they would be just as beautiful with a brush that is not wasting so many supplies. Where are my brushes? There's a better, oh, it was a watercolor one. Okay, whatever. I'll use this one. So this is a, well, it says a 12, but it's a generic Hobby Lobby, so who knows what actual that would relate to in like Simply Simmons, but it's similar to a Simply Simmons type tack lumber sold filbert. It's about, what, a 3/4 inch? Maybe that's an inch. I don't know dimensions, that's too close to math. So I need to keep this entire thing wet from the blending of the center out into the background until I get to the trees. The trees, I can go ahead and dry it for that, but I want all of the rest of this to stay wet. So I'm going to be using my fine mist sprayer to mist that as I go. And I'm going to start by putting some unbleached titanium white right in the center. You can kind of see it. It's much darker in person. And I've got water with that, as always. I never use the, I shouldn't say never. The only never is using this brush to apply paint with. But I almost never add paint without water. It almost always will have at least a little bit of water. Now that purple is really bright, so I'm gonna mix a touch of black in with it just to soften that up some so that it's not quite so, hi, look at me, I'm purple. I mean, we want purple, you know, that purple. And I'm gonna go ahead and mist this with my fine mist sprayer to keep that wet. And I'm gonna keep adding more. Now, the reason that I'm getting this nice, softer grayish look is that the unbleached titanium white is mixing in with the black. Anytime you mix a white, even the unbleached titanium white, with black, you're gonna get a grayish tone. And then I'm pulling in my purple as I need to. Wait, what? Oh, I got a notification that came from earlier, and it just confused the heck out of me. My brain said, wait, what is going on? Okay, so see how it's almost a, okay, on there, yours looks a little bit more dull than mine. I'm gonna have to hype up the color saturation on the camera once I can dry this. I definitely, mine's more purple than what you're seeing. I would change it now, but I don't want to chance this starting to dry. So you misted it with a fine mist sprayer. Yeah, unbleached titanium white is basically just a cream color. You can make it yourself with just white, a little bit of brown, white, a little bit of yellow ochre or yellow oxide. That would work. Just anything basically that's kind of a brownish or yellowish tone. And we'll get down here into the path. So I add a little, come on, hold still. A little bit more unbleached titanium white here. I definitely need to start getting more into the purples as I move down this way and right around the edges. Just push against the board. Work with me. I'm going to mist it again because I can feel it starting to tack up. And you know what? I think I'm not going to make my life too difficult. I'm going to do this in 2 layers. So I'm just going to softly blend this out now. And I'm going to do a second coat so that I can get a good amount of color saturation. Now when I blend this, what I'm doing is not mixing the paint so much as getting rid of my brush strokes. This will also allow me, while that dries, to adjust the color on here. And I'm going in every which direction. If this starts to pick up too much, like if the painting is too wet and it starts to pick up too much paint, it will start creating brush strokes instead of taking them away. So what I'm going to do is rub that on a dry paper towel to keep that as dry as long as possible. But this is also why we want multiple mop brushes. Don't just buy yourself one, buy at least two, but I would say closer to 5. You always want one ready to, well, with oil painting, I would say even more. But with acrylics, we need them dry and ready to go. When they're wet, they don't work. So now I'm no longer fighting against the white of the canvas, and I don't care that this is perfect because I'm going to be putting another layer over it. Now when I rinse this brush, all I do, I don't know if you can kind of see, actually let's move the palette up. I'm just going to put the tip of the bristles in there, not a lot, and then dry that on a paper towel, get it as dry as possible so it's ready to go as soon as possible. But the next layer, I'll be using a fresh brush that's already dry. Okay, so let me dry this, and then we're going to adjust the color a bit so it looks like what I'm seeing. Coffee. Now the reason that I'm going to be doing this in 2 layers is, I don't know if you'll really be able to see, it's just bumpy and kind of rough. It'll just be better if I do a second layer. It always, the more layers you do, it always looks better, unless you're painting this on with like thick, chunky, like, if you're not thinning it down with water, basically. That's not so great. But let me go ahead and change the saturation and it's coming out too blue on camera. That looks closer. Of course, my hand's gonna look weirdly yellow because of it, but that's a lot closer. We'll save it like that for now. Once I paint the ghost in, I may have to adjust it again because of the white being on there. Actually, yeah, we'll just leave it like this for now. Okay. Jason said, I thought you stopped drinking caffeine at this time of the day. I did, and I'm cheating. And I'm gonna super regret it, but I don't care. I wanted it so bad. My love of coffee is strong, and I got my cinnamon sugar cookie coffee. Finally was at a price I could afford. It was on sale, and I got it, and I've been waiting for it forever. It's always like weirdly expensive for that one. So I can only wait till it's on like super, super sale to get it. It's one of my favorites, and it came today. So I get an extra one because I have no self-control. Okay, so we're gonna do another layer here. And I'm going to start, actually, I'm going to rinse the brush off. I'm going to wipe the paint off the brush, and then I'm going to rinse it because I want to start with the unbleached titanium white in the middle. And if you have any questions, I'll be answering those at the end of the video, or after the art project is done. So I'm going to start again with the unbleached titanium white. You can see it's, now you can really see it's a much more cream color. And now I'm not even cleaning the brush. I'm gonna let it mix right in with the purple and a little bit of black. And you don't have to go with purple. You could go with blue if you want. And when we get to the ghost, when I'm shading with the purple, you would just be shading with blue. I'm gonna let that mix. I need this to stay wet. That's already drying. Too much water. Oh my gosh. I got a little out of control there. That's gonna need to dry some. Actually, let's sop some of that up. I'm gonna have regrets if I don't. I mean, I'm already gonna have regrets because of the extra cup of coffee, but whatever. Okay. You know what, I need more. You will work. I need some more of my unbleached titanium white in the middle now, since I had way too much water on that first batch and I wiped too much off and it was a whole thing. So let's go ahead and get you in there. See how I don't care that it's sketchy? None of that matters right now. And now I want to start pulling more purple. Wade, stop chewing on your feet. Wade, you'll make them itchier. I know you're just a bad cow and you don't understand. I mean, you understand not to chew when I tell you, but you don't understand why. He just thinks I'm being mean and won't let him chew on his feet. He's like, they're my feet. I should be able to chew on them. Oops, a little too much black. Pull some more purple in there. There we go. Now, because I'm not fighting the white of the canvas, this is so much smoother. The blotchiness that I was getting, it's not really that my brush strokes are any smoother. It's that you can't tell because I'm not fighting the white of the canvas anymore. I want more purple. I'm just going to scoop up some straight purple dioxazine. We're going to slop that in there really thick. Get a bit more color saturation. It looks kind of black on the screen there. It's not in person. Okay, missed that. Brush strokes a little harsh. There we go. And I need to pull some unbleached titanium white. I'm going to also pull some of my red oxide so that I get a brownish tone, because when that mixes with the purples and the blacks and all that, I'm going to get a brownish tone out of that. And that's going to help me create my little pathway. Jason asked if the dogs go for rawhide. I would never feed a dog rawhide. I used to work in an animal hospital, so I know the things. And rawhide is how you cause an impaction in a dog. Rawhide is a never, 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 never thing in my house for any reason. Like, oh, you got my dogs a gift? Too bad they can't have it. Like, never. It's too easy to choke on. It's non-digestible, and so they will often, it can cause impaction, which is a very expensive surgery, or one of the things I personally saw back in the 80s with one of my own dogs, had a collie choke on it, and I had to like reach down and pull it out of his throat. It was a fun experience. Never give rawhide. I do bully sticks if I do that, but mainly lately they've been getting carrots have been their thing. They love carrots. It's good for scraping at their teeth. Super healthy, completely digestible, all the good things. And now we're going to blend this. It's starting to dry. So I bet you didn't expect a lecture about why rawhide is the devil, did you? You've got to remember, though, I'm the person who feeds my dogs raw, so I'm like really into all of the, I'm super judgy. I'm really into all of the natural health, like all the things. Speaking of blockages, you want to see a blockage, give dogs grainies. Some of them will never have a problem, but oh my God, that is like the most unnatural thing. Yeah, sure, it helps their teeth, but so do other things that don't cause blockages. Those things are also the devil. Okay, I need to lift this on the edge so I can blend smoother. I'm just going every which direction. I don't need this to be like, I don't care if it's kind of blotchy, I just want my brush strokes gone. So it's not like it has to be this perfect circle in this area. And I keep rubbing my brush on there just to dry it off, because I've got a bit too much water in some spots and not enough in others. I've got a whole mess because I'm rushing. But remember, we're coming through with tree branches and such, so a lot of this gets hidden. You're not going to see any of that because the ghost is going to hide it. I think we're good. Okay, so I'm going to rinse that brush. Again, all I have to do is rinse the tips because that is the only area that should have paint on it, just from what it picked up from the canvas. Oh, I like this. It has that super soft look. I'm excited about this one. Okay. Jason said, what happened to you drinking tea at night? I have that too. It's right here. I can have 2 beverages. That one's caffeine free. Kelly said, my favorite new chew for the dogs has been a yak cheese, actually. They're long-lasting, don't upset our stomach at all like the chews, but even bully sticks and cow bones. You know, it's funny, my parents, for the exact same reason, because they have a Weimaraner who's like super over-the-top, freakishly sensitive, that's what they've been giving him too. They swear by it. I'd never even heard of it before, and they started giving it to theirs. So, very cool. Okay, so now when we start these trees, these ones that are going to be farthest in the back, we want them barely darkest than our light color here. This is not totally dry. It's a little tacky. If yours is also not dry, you should probably dry it all the way. Also, I want to show you what this looks like. This color is usually a little bit more accurate. Mine is a definite, yeah, that's way more accurate. You can see mine has much, much more purple than what you're getting in on the other camera. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which brush. This one is a Tackle and Bristled Filbert that has chunks on it, because apparently I can't clean things very well. But I only want these ones here to be slightly darker than that background. And as I move my way forward, I'll get darker and darker. But every single time I get darker and darker, it should only be slightly darker than whatever it's up against. Until I get to the closest ones, those can be the darkest. But actually in this piece, I left everything pretty faded. So we'll stick with that. So I'm going to go with the unbleached titanium white, pull a bit of purple into that. That's a bit too light. Bit more purple. And I'm going to go all the way from the top. I want some variation so they're not all the same thickness. I'm going to break all this up with leaves up top so the top doesn't really matter. And I'm going to go a bit darker now. Need a lot more water in that. Baby Panda said, speaking of dogs, any tips on getting puppies to stop biting? We tried all the tips we could, nothing works. Depends on the breed, and I would contact somebody who is very familiar with whatever breed you have. I haven't dealt with puppies since 2005, so this isn't one of my expertise areas. But I mean, and I had Italian Greyhounds, they weren't super bitey. I mean, it was pretty easy to just grab their snoot and say no, or yell or clap my hands or something that kind of made them startle. My thing for the boys is I like basically growl at them when they're doing, but they're not bitey. So, well, except for Wade when he gets treats. Bad cow is, then he gets bitey. Then I get loud. But I would contact whatever breed you have, contact somebody who is very familiar with them and ask them for tips. I don't want to give you bad advice. I'm using a bit more water here so that same purple is more translucent in the background. Let's get more of the black as we move forward. Some of that, though, with the biting, they just outgrow on their own. But like my thing is generally clap my hands and say no. Something that slightly startles them. But like, I also find that what works for one breed, or even one dog within the breed, does not always work for others. So that's why I say contact someone familiar with yours. Lucky for me, the boys were both, what were they, a year and a half, I think, when I got them. So I got to skip the obnoxious puppy stage. Okay, now I am going to create the look of actually, I'm going to lighten this a little bit by just taking water. I may super regret this because what was under it wasn't totally dry. Ready for regrets? I am. That brush is too stiff. I need a softer heel work. if you're still wet, I kind of want, yeah, this is actually working. I just want to lighten that a bit. And so I'm lifting some of what's there. I'm just taking a clean brush with water and working up and down. I'm not trying to get rid of those branches. I just want to lighten them a little bit. Okay, that's better. Okay. Coffee. Okay, so the branches, the words are hard. The leaves, the poofy parts, those are actually not going to be, I'm not doing the ones in the distance, I'm just doing the ones up close. So I'll do this in 2 stages, a medium and a really a darker one. I'll go with the same colors that I previously used. So I'm just gonna pull up, just dabbing a stiff brush. Now the way that I do this is to push the brush down and slide it, not slide. I'm not making a brush stroke, I'm pushing it. And what this does is leaves little dots. It's giving me sections. Let me do a sample on this for you. So not this, I'm not trying to make that type of a brush stroke. Here, and let these bristles sort of fall forward. The back bristles are not moving. I don't know if you can see, these stay put. And this is giving me the look of tree branches. So that is what we're going with here. I need to reload that, and I had way too much water on that brush, but it gives you a pretty good idea. And I want a stiff brush for this, ideally one that's kind of damaged. If you aren't great at taking care of your brushes, those are the brushes you want to use for this. I want to get variation. I don't want to, when I say variation, I mean don't just make the same brush stroke over and over again going the same direction. Move it around. Some are going up. Okay, and now I'm going to go much darker, so I'm going to pull some more purple, a little bit more black. Way more black. Hit the camera. Okay, and then I'm going to, let's reload this with a bit more purple. I'm going to give us just a hint of some texture down here, like there's some bushes that are overlapping, moving onto the path, like just the edges of the pathway. You just pull them up into the trees a little bit. Okay, and just a reminder, you'll be able to bid on this. The starting bid is $75. But if no one bids, I get to keep them. Either way, I have to paint a new one for my mom, who pretty much already claimed one. I've got a little bit of a lighter color here. I want to create a few little streaks. I'm using the same color I used earlier for the background with the unbleached titanium white, a little bit of purple, kind of everything's mixed in there. I just want to get a little bit of texture there on the road. Okay, let's draw the ghost, and I need to make some adjustments because that looks way darker than it does in person. Let me show you. Oh, wow, that is way more accurate. Holy crap. It's a little on the bright side because of the lights in here, but that is way more accurate. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is. Good job, camera hub, for once. Okay, let me dry this, and then we're going to use tracing and transfer paper to transfer our subjects on. Okay. So I've already pre-drawn out my ghost, and I'm just going to tape that where I want him. Actually, I'm going to put mine a little bit higher. Make sure when you tape it on both sides so it's not sliding around a bunch as you move. And my tracing or transfer paper. Okay, I know there's the stylus. I knew I saw it earlier. And we're just going to use, look how, I don't know if you can see how much this has been used. Like that is some old, you can reuse this for so long. This is many years old. I do want to make sure it's showing up. Yeah, we're good. I am not going to draw the eyes or the little holes for his hands because I'm going to paint right over it. I don't want to be painting around those. The black is so opaque. It's very easy to cover the white that I'm about to do. So I'm going to make my life easier. I'm only drawing the outside of these two. And his buddy, which honestly, let's be realistic, that is the part that makes this so flipping cute. Anyone want to guess what breed this is? It's got kind of a smushed face, whatever he is. I mean, you can guess. I don't have an answer. I didn't choose what breed. I was thinking either maybe pug or could be a Boston Terrier. I think Boston Terrier just because Nick has one. Okay. Oh, yeah, Nick says Boston Terrier. That was kind of what I was thinking. Ah, Maria, they love you for that. That is good timing, too. Do you boys want a super chat from Maria? Thank you so much, said for the pups. Gibson, come on, lazy boy. I'm not bringing it to you. Come. You want a super chat? Thinks I'm just going to get up and walk it over there. I am lazier than a greyhound, sir. If you're unaware, greyhounds are like the laziest breed of dog you could possibly find. Oh, gosh, that's very lazy, boys. Thank you for slobbering on my hand, cow. Thank you again, Maria. Oh, so tasty. Okay, go lay down. Down, down, down. Wade wants the other bed right now. He's looking at it like, but could I get in the other one? No, go lay down, down. Down. Rotten greyhounds. How can, you're going to mess up my Thai constellation over there. I need to scooch that out of the way. I moved that bed way too close. That's my own fault. Okay. So I want a tackle and bristled filbert as usual because they are the best brush of all the brushes. Again, it doesn't even have to be good. What's this one? This one, actually this one's Royal Lane Nickel. We've got a real brand on this one, but it's just, this one is a, does it have a number? See, this one says 12. This one says 12. This one says 12. That's why these numbers, they're not universal. Whatever size you want, it's not a big deal. Okay, so I'm going to be using white and pulling in some of that purple. I'm just pulling some of the purple that has a little bit of the black in it that we used earlier. I'm going to get a base. I'm going to start with a little bit darker than I want his highlights to be. We're just going to paint over that. Now there is water mixed in with this, and see how I can make these long brush strokes? This is what is, well, that and a nice healthy brush is giving me those smooth edges. Don't do this. That gives, we don't want a fluffy ghost. I mean, even his buddy down there is not fluffy under that sheet. Now the reason that we're not starting with white is if we start, it actually looks a little brighter on camera than it does in person. Perspin, that's what happens when you have too much coffee. You end up with extra letters in your speech. But we don't want to start with straight white because we want to use the white for the highlights. He's in, this is night. White is not going to be that white. And Joseph wants a fluffy ghost. Well, Joseph, you go ahead and put those extra brush strokes, sir. When I used to teach those painting while you people sipped wine classes, I did that for a few years. Those are so fun, by the way. If you've never been to one, like you're not going to learn. They're not lessons. They're not really classes. You're going to have fun. You're going to have drink with your friends. I recommend an Uber. Some people left there really tipsy. But anyway, they're not lessons. They're not like where you're really, but they're fun. It's an art activity that is just fun. So if you have those locally, Usually the teachers aren't very good artists themselves, so like seriously, you're not going there to learn, you're going there to have fun. And they can be a lot of fun, especially if you go with friends. But anyway, moving on. When I used to teach those, what was my point? I was going somewhere with that story. Oh, there was one class that we used to do quite frequently where it was like a red high heel shoe or something. And the amount of fluffy shoes, because people keep making the same little brush stroke. So you don't want to do that. Okay, I need to switch to a smaller Taklon bristled filbert. And the reason that I like the Taklon bristled filbert versus like a flat brush leaves a harsher, I can show you. These aren't, maybe it's not the greatest example because this is a different type of bristle. Oh wait, I have one that is a Taklon bristle. Or I mean, yeah. I just want to show you what I'm talking about. You get a harsher start and stop point with like it's just so straight. So that is why, unless I'm doing something that's like man-made objects, basically, fences and buildings and such. Whereas if I go with, I'll use the larger one for this. With the Taklon bristle, I just have a more natural, the start and stop is softer. It's not so straight. So that's why I don't use flats that often. I have some because occasionally they are the way to go, especially for lining edges and stuff. There are things that they're handy for. But for what I'm doing right now, I really don't want those because they're going to make it harder to smooth out some of these brush strokes. They're going to make them much harsher. I can't talk. I'm blaming the extra cup of coffee. I don't have regrets about it yet, though. I'm going to guess that comes later. Although, I used to have horrible trouble staying asleep at night. Like, I'd fall asleep. I need a round brush. This is too frayed at the ends. I didn't stay asleep. Like, after a couple hours, I always woke up. So I took melatonin, but it only, like, does so much good. I started taking vitamin D. I'm taking 1,500 IUs, which is like 3 times the recommended dosage. Dr. Berg, I don't know if you watch his videos at all, if you guys are into natural stuff, but he was talking about taking like 20,000. So I'm like, you know what, I'll try 15,000 because I know I'm short on vitamin D. Taking that at night before I go to bed with my magnesium, holy crap, I sleep all night now. Like, no more melatonin. I don't wake up. If I do wake up in the middle of the night, I fall right back asleep. Like, it is crazy. Like, this has been a problem my whole life. Well, at least my adult life. I don't remember when I was a kid. But yeah, it is amazing. I cannot recommend that enough. But if you look up Dr. Berg, I think it's, what is it, B-E-R-G, he talks about that. And I mean, I'm not a doctor, so don't take my advice, but taking extra vitamin D and taking it right before bed. Like, even if when I took just my normal 1,500 or 5,000 IUs, is it IU, is that what it is? When I took just that, I was still sleeping better. I upped it to 1,500 and I feel so much better. I'm getting so much more work done. Like, I cannot get over the difference. And I think I was like short on a lot of different things because I'm also occasionally taking iodine now or I eat a lot of seaweed now. But I've been more productive than I've been in years. It's crazy the difference. Magnesium and vitamin D, like, you're supposed to take that anyway. Just take it before bed instead, even if you don't want to take the higher dose, which again, not a doctor, not medical advice, but if you're already taking it, try it before bed and see what happens. Because it's magic. Okay, I'm going to dry this. Okay, now we're going to get some of the darker shadows in between the creases of the sheet there. So let's grab, this one looks good. Maybe, we'll see. Now this canvas is, I put 3 coats, I showed you the canvas it was earlier, I forgot to mention, I put 3 coats of gesso and sanded it so it's super smooth. So I'm going to be able to do different blending techniques that if you're working on a rougher canvas, your results may be rougher. It's not that you're doing something wrong, it's that the canvas is different than mine. That'll work. So I need a brush that's slightly damp. I'm going to be doing 2 brushes here. This one, just cheapy, slightly damp brush. This one is the one I'm painting with. And I'm going to put my crease. I'm going to keep that a little bit wet. Actually, this one's a little bit too, I think that's going to be harder to control. Let's try this one. I'm going to use a Taklon bristle instead. Oh, wait, you look like a good size. Come here. Oh, and you're rough too because you're damaged. You're even better. Perfect. Okay, and I'm just gonna lightly smudge that. Now, if I decide I need more purple here, don't add it now. Let this dry and then come back and add more, because if you keep reworking that area, it's gonna start lifting paint instead of smoothing it out or building. A little bit more water so that blends smoothly. Like, I know I need a lot more right there, but I can't do it just yet. I need this to dry. A little bit of a shadow there, and I'm going to smudge that in. So again, this brush that I'm smudging with is slightly damp. If you have too much water, it will work like an eraser. So if you're having it just lift the paint all the way, you've got too much water. And see why I'm really glad I'm not having to paint around those eyes right now? That would be a pain. I want to make sure that this is rounded on the arm here. Just let that kind of fade out as we move up. If this starts to dry, these aren't going to smudge, so maybe do one at a time, not three like I just did. If you're painting slower, just do one of those and then smudge and then do another one. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. We're going to come over and work on this guy a little bit. And I'll have to do this in multiple layers to get this to look how I want. That is my airbrush, or the air compressor. For the little, see, I would normally call them fireflies, but we don't really have fireflies this time of year, obviously, and they, being that he's supposed to be spooky, I thought they could be orbs of light, because everyone's obsessed with, look, that's an orb, I saw an orb, so let's see orbs. Anyway, the orbs are going to be painted. I'll do one without the airbrush so you guys know how to do it if you don't have it, but then I'm going to be doing the rest of mine with the airbrush because I just like the look better, and it will save me a lot of time. Okay, I'm going to dry this and then work more on those shadows. Okay, making sure I hit the camera. I was afraid I unplugged it. I am prone to doing that. Well, it tends to disconnect even when I don't touch it, so I'm almost surprised it didn't here. So I'm going to keep building up these shadows. Actually, I want to get a little bit more black in there. This brush is, no, it's actually blending still pretty well. Pulling that one to the right there. And I'll put a little bit, softening that edge. Oops, that wasn't supposed to be there. My little folds in the fabric are not exact to the reference photo. Close enough. Actually, this would be easier with a small round brush. Well, not that small, good enough. Now, right now everything's really dark. We're going to be correcting that with the highlights. But the highlights won't look very light if our darks are not dark enough. Define that better now. So some of these I want more definite lines, so I'll be using this round brush to add those. This is for the deepest crevice in the folds of the fabric. There's too much water on there. Need to reload that brush with less. Just soften that edge. Okay, I'm going to dry that. We'll come through with some highlights. Actually, I'm going to put, while that sets for a second, I'm going to put the shadows under now too. So let's grab, I need my, any Taklon will work. Using the same black and purple mixture. And we'll just soften the edge a bit. And this helps him to look more like he's floating. Same thing for his little friend. Just a little bit softer. There we go. Okay, I'm going to dry this again, and we're going to start with the highlights. I need more coffee. Actually, I don't need more coffee. I want more coffee. Okay, highlight time. I want, yeah, that'll work. So now I'm just going to be using white. This brush should be clean before I try to smudge. And I'm going to smudge the edges. It might be a bit too wet. That's okay. And right down the middle of the arm, I just want it slightly softened out. And we've got a little highlight here. A much larger one here. Reload that brush a bit. And then we've got the highlight on this arm. And a highlight bit in the middle here. Just smudge that out a bit. And then for his friend, actually let's switch to a smaller brush for the dog. And I'm going to come back and put more highlights too. I'm going to do this in layers. What do I need? Round brush will work. So we've got the top portion of the ears. top of the head. And then pull it down. I'm going to leave the upper edge sharp. Make sure this area is lighter. Should actually meet up with this face there. That highlight stays light. Don't over blend this. When you make your little smudgy marks, it's really easy to keep blending and blending because one stroke looked good, so you think lots of strokes look better. That is usually not the case. You usually just need a couple of brush strokes and then move on for blending. So I'm going to make sure that these edges are nice and clean. And then I'm going to dry this. I'm going to put more highlights. I'm going to switch back to I'll just go ahead and switch back to the slightly larger filbert for the bigger guy. And I have to re-wet this because it's starting to dry. Make sure that outer edge is nice and smooth. I'm going to do this and just smooth that out because that is coming out a bit more rough than I want right in the center. There we go. Much better. Oh, I will get that in just a second, Art by MB. Thank you so much. I can't stop right at this stage. The joys of fighting the dry time of acrylics. I can't sound too excited or the dogs will know though. And then I will come back through with the round brush for the bottom, the very bottom there to clean that up. Okay, and this guy again. Let's brighten some of this. And I'll switch to, how do I know it's a guy? He told me. Like, obviously. Dog's a male as well. I always call everything actually a he until I'm informed otherwise. I don't know why, like all animals and stuff. I had someone get mad at me for gendering animals once on a video and told me to stop doing that. That was pretty bizarre. People are weird. See, I just keep building up those highlights a little bit more, a little bit more. And I'll be able to do the eyes, and then I can come back and do any final highlights I want before I start the little light orbs. I think he's pretty good. A little bit more here. I have to be careful because that is starting to dry and that will lift. There we go. I'm going to get these outer edges on a couple of spots to be a bit brighter. I'm just going to blend in, not on the outside edge because I want that outer edge to be harsh. There we go. Okay. Yep. Okay, let's go ahead and dry this and we can paint in the eyes and then finalize any highlights and then do our little orbs. Brandy said, I came in late, but when I first saw it, I thought it was a lady. I'm not looking under the sheet. Oh, I was going to call you something, but kids could be watching. But it ended with Irv. Don't look at the ghost sheet. Rude. Okay, we need that to be completely dry. Let me grab my black transfer paper because I'm not going to be able to see the white over that. Oh, I hope I can find my black. Oh, I found it. It's a Christmas miracle. Oh, and I'm being attacked by spare tracing paper. Okay, and this is one of the things I love about doing tracing and transfer paper. I don't have to like guess where the eyes are. I already drew them out. Oops, I just throw that paper. Let's retape it. So I just need to line him up where that went. Slide my transfer paper under there. Jason said, would you see anything if you looked? I'm not going to find out. You guys are weird. Okay, and we have, that didn't show up at all. Well, let's try it again. I think it kind of showed up. Dang it. I think this tracing paper is just a little too old. And I have a lot of paint on the canvas and it might not be dry all the way. So all of those things, there we go. Using the corner is working. Add together to make it not work as well. You are not centered on the dog there. There we go. And these don't have to be perfect. They're not mirror images of each other. They're like, yeah, close. It's actually cuter if they're a little bit off. Brandy says a guy would wear pants instead of a dress. Here's a question for you then, since this is what you're debating. If a spider were to wear pants, how many of the legs would be parts of the pants? Like, would the pants just be on the back 2 legs, or would it be on all 8, or just like half of them? Discuss amongst yourselves. It's important stuff we need to know. I thought that just the back 2 legs. I don't know why. That's just what my brain jumped to. Okay, and I'm just going to use a round brush and fill that in solid black. I'm going to do this on my little, I've got to turn this, oh, and I got white up there. Fixed. Just to get the edges smooth, it's easier for me to turn this. Oh, Art by MB, shoot. We had, oh, I owe you. You know what? You can wait, Ghost. Wait for eyes, because we had, two for, Art by MB had said for the Peppers just got here. She also had another said from my daughter Emily to the doggos. So you boys get 2 super chats. Come. Thank you so much from Emily and from you. 2. Okay. First these. And those ones. The good boys. Okay, take it to your bed. Go lay down. Thank you so much. Totally forgot. Go lay down, lay down, lay down, lay down, lay down, lay down. Gibson. Oh, I do have to look at the underside of spiders to tell if they're male or female, to be honest. I was actually doing that today with a microscope, or not a microscope, a magnifying glass for my baby jumping spiders. Some of them are starting to get their adult colors in, so the girls are super cute. The girls are the cutest because they've got like oranges and not all of them. Some of them are still super young, little, like they haven't molted enough, but maybe next week. What are we doing next week? Something with zombie snail, but maybe I'll bring one in to show you, one of the babies. I'm gonna have to do a couple coats of that to make sure that it's opaque enough. I tried, I was gonna have him holding a leash onto his dog, but that actually looked really weird because I couldn't figure out, would the leash be like around his wrist out here, or would it be going into the hole in the arm? I couldn't decide, so I skipped the leash. He's not a responsible pet owner. Okay, fix the bottom there. It's not rounded enough. There we go. Are the babies clear? No, they're black and orange, and they're jumping spiders, so they're fluffy too. Well, they're old enough now. They're starting to get their fluff. It's really cute. Most of them. I spend every other day, an hour every other day, changing paper towels in all their little cups, and I have to do this in my lap because I cannot get this to be the right shape. But yeah, I'm spending a stupid amount of time caring for baby spiders. But my success rate, their survival rate has been abnormally high. Like, I had read that it was only about, what did they say, like a 10%? 10% of the babies would live. Yeah, mine is like 98% of them lived. So I have 70-something babies from the first batch. No, the first batch only had 2. The second batch I had 70-something because I changed my methods. Third batch, there aren't as many in that clutch. I'm not sure how many are in there. Okay, we're going to do a little shine mark. Actually, we've got highlights and the shine. So we've got a little, not that the shine makes total sense, but it's super cute. Like, seriously, did that not just make it look so much cuter? Okay, I need that to dry, and I can do a few more highlights I want on this guy. So I'm actually going to do dry brushing, and I typically, you guys know I talk a lot of crap about dry brushing because it looks like crap, but sometimes when your canvas is this smooth, it actually looks good and it doesn't look like dry brushing. So I'm going to load my brush with paint, little bit of water. I know that sounds like the opposite of dry brushing, but then I'm going to wipe most of it off on my paper towel. And I am just going to get a few highlights here. And I'm just lightly going over that. I'm not pushing hard. If you've got a rough canvas, yours is going to look bumpy. It'll look like dry brushing. It won't look as good. But this canvas, because I put 3 coats of gesso and sanded it, it's super smooth. So I can just lightly get some of these highlights. I'm going to reload that brush. Stop chewing your feet, cow. Hey. That's not a dry brush mark. Those are much heavier. You can sure some of these stand out better. I'm going to soften right as that shadow fades out. Much better. Okay. Oh, I'm loving it. Okay, let me get the edges. And then we do the orbs. I'm just making that white stand out a bit more in a few spots. You guys know me and my love of that higher contrast. So I want that white to really stand out. Need to smudge this though. And the reason that I wanted to dry the black was just so I didn't if I smudge it, I don't end up with black all over where I didn't want it to be. I would just have to paint black over where I might smudge white if that did happen, which is much easier than trying to cover the black that ended up where it wasn't supposed to. See, not everything needs to be blended. Some of it can be, leave those brush strokes, especially those final highlights. Does this guy have any bids? I'm going to be shocked if I get to keep him. I'm not going to be unhappy about it either. I don't see any. So if you do want to bid on him, $75 is the starting bid. He's not done yet though. Oh my gosh, so cute. Okay, let's do the orbs now. So first thing, for those of you without the airbrush, you're going to be using some white. I need a much smaller brush than this though. Hold on. Actually, this one might work because I'm about to find out. Pick where you want one of your little orbs. I'm going to do a white dot and I'm going to smudge that outer edge. Oops, too much water. Dry that off. Reload. Actually, if you have too much water, sticking your finger in it works better than blending does, but you need too much water for that. And I'm just going to soften that edge. I'm just kind of tapping around there just so it's a bit softer. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to do all of them this way. We're doing good on time. I don't have to get out my airbrush and fight with the fact that I'm pretty sure it's still clogged. We're just going to soften those edges a little bit. Same thing, soften the edges. With an airbrush, you just have to do a little squirt with the white. With white, it's super fast, but this is actually fine. This has a bit too much water on it, so I have to be very careful when I smudge those edges. That one, I need to reload that. That is just way too much water. Too translucent. Soften out the edges just a little bit. See how I don't just keep remixing? You don't want to keep going over it again and again and again. It's going to end up being, you'll make a mess. Just slightly soften that edge. Just moving the brush around it just a little bit. If you end up with a little bit of a ring around it, great. Has too much water again. This brush is just holding a lot of water at the base and it keeps running down. Reload. Soften that edge. It's better if you get some different sizes in here. Don't make them all exactly the same. That'll make some of them look like they're farther away if you can manage that. It's a little bit too translucent. And just softening that edge again. Okay, now I need to dry those, and we're going to do, this takes 3 layers. We've got to do this, we'll dry it, glaze our orangey tone over it, and then a little bit of a highlight in the center with the unbleached titanium white. And this needs to be completely dry. If it's not, when you glaze the orange over, it can lift off. I didn't actually get orange out, although I think this will work. Let's see when I thin it out if I like it. It's hit or miss. We'll find out. Nope, that actually works really well. I'm just going to lightly go over all of these to give us that orangey glow, and this is with my red oxide. You could use orange if you want it to be more orange, up to you. I'm going to actually wipe a little bit of this color over the ghost, so it's kind of looks like it's catching on him a bit. I'm doing that near where the little orbs are going to be. Okay, now we're going to brighten that up even more in the center of these. Again, with airbrush, you can do that. I'm going to use white and unbleached titanium white, but you can do it with the airbrush just by a small dot in the center. That needs, I take it back, I only want unbleached titanium white. I'm just going to stick my finger in it to soften it up a bit. as this dries, it doesn't have the glow I want. I'm going to go over with the airbrush. Because I want more orange anyway. It's showing more orange on camera than I'm getting in person. I love how it looks on the ghost, but those are just not standing out as much. So I lied, I am going to do the airbrush. So if yours wasn't standing up as much as you wanted, you could go back over it again. I mean, those are fine, but I want more orange. Why is this stuck closed? No, you were going to be a problem for me. I've got dried paint on the cap of this. There we go. When I checked earlier, it was, we'll find out if it works. I'm going to put a couple drops of flow improver in it. This is the Vallejo Pro Flow Improver. That stuff is amazing for helping your brush not to get clogged. The problem with mine is, I think it was already clogged when I turned it on because I don't think I cleaned it very well last time I used it. Oh, that is way too high. Where's the knobby thing? This is way high. What is happening? It should be turning down. I'm going to have to mess with that. Something is jammed on that. Okay, I have to be careful because this is going to splatter since it's... Don't splatter, don't splatter, don't splatter. My air compressor, something is not letting me turn the knob to tone it down. I'm going to have to mess with that later. So I have to be careful because I could very easily have this splatter and make a bit of a nightmare for myself. But I wasn't getting as much glow as I wanted. I actually want a bit more glow around here. Okay. Now I've got to clean the white out, and then I can put the highlight. Oh, thank you, Patty. Put that in just a second. Let me clean the airbrush out really quick. Oh, I've got everything tangled down here. Okay, seriously, this week I need to spend some time organizing under my airbrush, or my easel. Okay, we can do that really quick. You boys want a super chat? Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Patty. Oh, that's very tasty, huh? Very spoiled. Okay, go lay down. Go lay down. Today, lay down. Today, I'm in a rush. Go. Lay down. Wade. Thank you so much. Boys, definitely thank you. Yeah, I'm going to use more of an orange. I'm going to mix that and my, actually, transparent red oxide might be better. Good boy. Ooh, this color actually is pretty good. I don't think I need the orange. Oh yeah, this is much softer. The airbrush is always best for these things. I mean, you can do it like I showed you, but this just has such a softer glow to it. I just wasn't getting quite the orange, so I would have needed to do another layer either way to get the orange where I wanted, whether I used the airbrush or not. I'm going to go a little bit more bold just because it's going to lighten up a lot when I put the dot in the centers. Now I'm going to do the same thing, couple drops of flow improver. and white. The lid is closed. And I'm just going to lighten the centers a bit. I'm not at a good angle here. Actually, let's just scoot this so I can get in front of it. I'm having to go super slow with this because my airbrush is blasting way more than it should be right now, or my air compressor. See, and then it dies out. Okay, I think he's done. Let me close these. And I need to sign it, and then we will play musical critters and bring French fry in after I get all this cleaned up and all of the wet paint sealed and put away. Dry acrylic, totally fine. Wet acrylic, I'm not going to risk it. Probably fine, but okay. So signing it. Where's my liner? It is stuck to the other brushes. I've got some transparent mixing, or not transparent, unbleached titanium white and a little bit of that purple. And I'm just going to sign right on this bottom corner. There we go. There is the finished painting. I'll show you in this camera because it's always more accurate. Oh, he's cute. I like how he came out. So there we go. Our finished little ghost, and he will get a high gloss varnish, which will make all the colors super set, like beautiful, beautiful. So yay! I love how he came out. I'm super excited. Okay, let me clean all of this up and get this ready so that French fry can come in. So while I'm doing this, I actually want to talk a little bit about, because this will take me just a minute. Actually, no, I'll come back to that because I want to focus when I do answer that question. We had a really good question from somebody in Discord this morning, and I think it's going to be relevant. It's something that a lot of people can relate to. And so we'll talk a bit about that. That's probably going to be a longer question because it's really good. Oops. And let's get all of this stuff out of the way. Normally when I have French fry in here, I try to use a medium that it's not so messy or so much stuff to move out. But tonight, I knew I wanted to do the ghost, but we also have the not Smart Art box, that's Habit, the Squawk box, and I'm excited to open it, but I don't want to open it until like I save those openings for you guys. So, whoops, I just have to take a minute to get all this out of the way. Okay, I want all of these wet paper towels out of the room. And we will put the boys in the other room with Matt. Ooh, I still have coffee. Okay, be right back. Come on, boys. You guys get up. You can leave now. Go on. Let me bring beds out. Out, cow. Oof. Out. Or panic and run in place. That works too. Okay. Okay, go lay down. Saying peekaboo in here. Come on. Come on, baby bird. Let's go open your smarter, or not. It's a baby. Okay. Oops. Ready to see what you got? I'm ready to see what you got. Okay, here is my baby bird French fry. And again, if you want to bid on this, starting bid is $75. How cute is he? I'm not upset if he doesn't sell. I'm keeping it. And there went French fry. Come on, baby bird. Did the ghost scare you? Scary ghost? Come on. Okay. See, French fry says he's a scary ghost. So these squawk boxes are, one of our Indian ringnecks especially loves the box. Loki, Matt's newer one, he sits on the edge and chews on millet or whatever treats he gets. He loves these things. You went up there? Okay. So let's see. Here is our box and my pieces of paper towel all over the place. So these, I've got an affiliate link in the video description. I'm not actually like associated with them other than that. I just thought it was really neat, and I know some of you guys have birds, so I guess French fry is trying to get under my hair. Here, move. You're gonna fall. Actually, will you stay up here while we open this? Let's see if we can get you to stay up so people can see your cuteness. So let's see. Oh, eraser. Do you want to sit up there? No? Is that scary? You don't want to sit up there? This is backwards. I guess I'm going to open this backwards because it makes more sense with the... Where are you going, baby bird? What? I heard you peep. So, oh yay, it is a Halloween one. So we have Trick or Tweet. Here, you can see it that way. I have to look at it upside down. So these always tell you what the toys are and whatever the treats are. So our Talon treats this time are pumpkin seeds. How perfect is that? We got, oh, you're going to hop around? He just wants on my shoulder. Okay, we'll do it that way. We'll open the box over here. So pumpkin seeds, I'm pretty sure these are going to be super popular. I'm excited for those. We have, oh, this is a big one. What in the world is this thing? Oh my gosh, it's a little scarecrow. Also, the stuff that it comes with, this packing material, that is absolutely a favorite with the birds too. I let them play with the whole box. Every night we go in, well, I call it the chicken room, but I take French Fry goes for a visit because he stays in my office with Tuna. Him and Tuna are definite BFFs. But every night we go in the chicken room so he can have a play date with the other parrot, Matt's parrotlet, Chicken, and the ringnecks. Well, actually I keep them away from the ringnecks. So anyway, first toy, we've got the cutest scarecrow, and these things, these finger trap things, oh my gosh, they love. Like that is one, definitely a popular one for them to chew on. So that is going to be definitely popular. We have a, oh my God, I'm making a mess. We have a pumpkin with little, these are papery. See, these toys, I've been really impressed so far. I think this is my third or my fourth one. Oh, that means I only have 2 more months. I need to sign up again. I was paid for, I think I prepaid for like a 1 6-month thing. You save more money that way. But it's got, all of them so far have been toys the birds really liked. I was worried it was going to be toys that no one would use. No, these are great. They're stuff that's super, like it's actual papery so they can shred that. So how cute is that? Where are we doing your play area tomorrow? Or maybe tonight. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Okay, hold on. Let me get this out. This is going to, oh, they're going to love this. Look at this. That is like that papery kind of like a, what is it? The hat, the straw hat. That's kind of what it feels like. And tons of stuff to, oh, how cute is that? Little paper straw. Yeah, they're going to, whoops, I'm holding it off camera. They are definitely going to love this. So, oh, there's another one in here. This is a branch that's a broomstick. Oh my God, how cute is this? Oh, I don't know who's getting this. I'm not sure who will enjoy it the most. I've got to figure it out. I may try first with Chicken because he's the hardest. Chicken is a cockatiel. They are not as prone to playing with the toys. At least he's not. Every once in a while, there'll be something he has fun with. We may try Chicken first. That is so cute. Is that everything? I think that's everything. I mean, minus obviously the box of straw stuff that they love playing with. Oh, what a great fun box. I'm excited. Can you tell? I'm like super, it's like getting a present every month, but it's not for me. It's for the chickens. Which honestly, if anyone wants to buy me stuff for my birds. That always makes me happier. My mom every year sends a Christmas present and she wraps it up always for all of the birds. Like one year, I think she wrapped up a little bunch of Q-tips because Chicken likes Q-tips. She wrapped up some straws. Like she'll wrap up like random stuff that she knows they like. So it's super cute. So anyway, let's see, it works. Somebody's having a hard time. It takes you there, but it should track it. If it doesn't, I don't know. If I don't get credit, whatever, I just want you guys to get something that's fun. And I'm having a blast with these. I mean, if you click the link, it should work. But it's a new, I double checked that it was the current, you're sliding off. You know what? Hold on, I can make you fit easier. Let me put a flannel on so you've got something to grip to. So yeah, it's definitely, and I think for conures, like for ring necks and conures, I think it says to go one size up. I'm using the smallest bird one. I wouldn't. The ring necks, these toys have been perfect because they're good enough that they can shred them, which is what you want. Like they're not too big. I got a parrotlet stuck in my hair. It's a baby. Tell me he's not the cutest baby. You're just the cutest. He's molting. He's all frumpy right now. He's getting more green in his face. Anyway, so yes, we still have Chicken. Chicken is adorable. Chicken is a rotten chicken. But yes, Chicken is definitely still here. He's technically my husband's bird. My hair is just, that didn't stay curled. Okay. Let's go on to your art questions. And the first thing that I'm going to answer is the one from earlier from our Patreon. Oh, we got a bid for the ghost. Yay. We're going to start with a question from one of our Patreon members over on Discord. I sent it to me earlier. Where is it? Here we go. It's kind of a long question, but it's a good one. Okay, let's see. I know you work fast and you've mentioned that people can get faster the more they work on their art. For me, I'm always going over and over, fixing and adjusting the, where was I? Fixing and adjusting the same area of a drawing or painting that all my time gets spent on individual sections, and it takes me forever to finish a piece. This includes subjects I've drawn and painted countless times. Sometimes what I end up with is what I started with before I started fixing it, or it ends up being, even better. The problem is I haven't made any improvements in the areas over the years. I don't know if it could be worth it to just try working to complete something and not trying to get it perfect. I feel like there's just something I should be doing so I can stop getting stuck. It could be a me problem, but I'm not sure. Okay, I think that's it. It's taking me entirely too long to finish my work, and it sucks the fun out of it and kind of exhausts me to have spent hours in one part when the piece could have been done ages ago. Okay. So yes, there is certainly a time where you could be too much of a perfectionist and things. But the bigger thing here, I'm losing a bird to my hair. The bigger thing is when you go to make adjustments, when you're going to fix and change things, you have to know what you're changing. You can't just keep working on it for the sake of working on it. And I think that's something that I'm going to start clarifying more when I talk about that. You know, I always talk about spend more time, spend more time. Yeah, but it doesn't really help if you're just redoing exactly the same, like let's say there was a mistake in something, you just keep doing the same mistake over and over again. This is one of the reasons I often talk about tracing to learn to do things correctly. When you go in to make changes, you have to go into those changes with a very specific intent. You have to know what's wrong. You have to know what exactly you're changing. Adding paint on top of paint on top of paint is not going to solve the problem if you don't have a very specific goal that you're working to adjust. And that really is what this boils down to. I know, I've done it many times, where you just keep working and working and working, but you've not sat there and go, okay, I need to rework this. I'm not happy with this area. Why? If you can't answer why, don't bother. You have to know why you are making adjustments, why you keep redoing an area. You have to have, like, I can't stress that enough. Be so specific. Get in your head, this is what needs to change. If you can't identify what's not quite right, you can keep layering all you want. It's not going to change anything. You don't know what you're changing. And it sounds weird, like, well, obviously you're going to know. No, you don't. You don't know what you're changing. I didn't know what I was changing. I was working and redoing an area and redoing it, but it wasn't getting better because I didn't understand the reason. Like, I can think of specific ones in the past, like painting a tiger. I didn't understand the specific reason it didn't look good. My contrast, my values, they were terrible. It didn't matter how many times I repainted the stripes to perfect them and perfected the little brush strokes for the hair if my values were wrong. So in that specific case, my specific thing that needed to be fixed were the values. That may not be the case for you. You need to know what is the specific thing that is wrong. Is it the drawing? Is it not quite exact to the reference photo? Like if you're drawing a person, is it not exactly like them? One thing you do, flip it upside down. When you look at them upside down, side by side, the reference photo plus your thing, your artwork, your thing. That's eloquent, Lisa. That you're going to be able to see much more clearly what is off. Another thing you can do is take a photo. Make sure the photo is straight. Like straight. That's not straight. That's not, this is not straight. This is not straight. This isn't. I don't mean this way straight. I mean, if it's tilted this way a little, if it's tilted this way a little bit, it skews it. So when you put it side by side with your reference photo, like you drag it into Photoshop or whatever photo editor you're using, it's not going to help. You need it completely, I can't do it this way. Completely, none of this is completely, as straight as you can get it. Take a photo of the work where you're at it and put it side by side with your reference photo. So if it's an issue of accuracy in the drawing, putting it side by side on the computer, oh my gosh, you will notice so much. Even if it's not that, maybe it's, you don't know if your lighting is quite right. You don't know if whatever it is. You put a photo of where you're at side by side, that is going to make it much easier. Side by side on the computer, on your photo editing app, get them like the same size, whatever. Reference photo, your work. You're going to notice things you just never noticed before. But that's coffee. That's the key, is identifying what isn't right. What are you working to change? Because you can spend hours, but if you don't have a very specific thing, a very, like, oh, the nose is too big. Oh, the nostrils are too far to the side. Oh, this eye's kind of squinted up. If you can't pinpoint that specific thing, don't bother. There's no reason to keep reworking it because you don't have, there's no point. What are you doing it for? Just to throw paint on it, it's not going to get you anywhere. You need to know what it is you're working towards. That is the only way spending that extra time is of value. Otherwise, yeah, just finish it up and call it done. If you can't look at it and go, this is what's wrong with mine versus the reference photo, this is what I don't like and this is what I'm trying to change, I wouldn't bother. I mean, yeah, experimentation is good, but I know what you're talking about. You keep reworking an area, you keep reworking, you're like, I know it's not right, I know it's not right. Why? What's not right? If you can't answer it, don't do it. Don't bother, go ahead and move on. Okay. Brittany said, how did you come up with the image you used for tonight's acrylic Halloween painting you did on tonight's live? I did a digital painting of it just in my head. I knew I wanted a cute ghost. I knew I wanted him to have a puppy, or, I mean, it could be an older dog. I don't know. Look how cute he is. I did a digital painting on my Wacom tablet and to use as our reference. So that is where that came from. So it is from my head. I often say don't do things from your head because they come out cartoony, but that was my goal on this. So cartoony worked. Okay. Let's see. Now for the questions that came on during the live, and thank you. It wasn't Snow. Did you change your name? I think she changed her name. For asking that, because that was a great question. And any of you guys who are members over on Patreon, if you have questions for the live stream, let me know on Wednesdays before the live stream. You can post over there and I can answer it during the stream. So even if you're not going to be able to be live for the stream, you can go back and watch it and I'll have answered for you. Especially a question like that that's like more involved. So yay. Miss Melissa said, have you ever used water-soluble oil paints? I haven't. I didn't love them. Now, to be fair, maybe they still need solvent. Like, the only way I liked them is if I still used a solvent, in which case, why wouldn't I just use normal oil paints? So I didn't, they just weren't for me. I like normal oil paints. I didn't like the texture. Maybe it was the brand I used. Oh God, who was it? Grumbacher? Who made that one? I don't remember. It's been years. And it was one of those things where I was like, why am I using this? I ended up using them like I did my normal oils with my normal solvent, my normal, like that was the only way I used them, that I got it to where I liked. Now, that's not to say you can't do great work with water-soluble oil paints. I just personally don't really see the point. Like, I'm just going to use the normal oils. So a lot of people say that they're less toxic. Not necessarily. Like, you can do some research on that. So yeah, that's, I mean, sort of, but sort of no, because if you're still having to use some sort of a solvent with them, some of them are, it wasn't for me. We'll go with that. But there are artists who create beautiful work with them. They're just not for me. Nick said, have you ever used a hairdryer to dry off the mop brush after rinsing? It doesn't work as well as a paper towel. I actually get better results with a paper towel. The hairdryer kind of makes it frizzes. It can frizz up if it's too hot. It made the brush weird. I don't know how to answer it more than that. So I just stopped doing it. I definitely get better results rubbing the brush on a dry paper towel and using multiple dry paper towels if I need to. But also, when I rinse that brush, I'm not submerging the entire brush in water. I want as little water in that brush as possible. It's only the tips of the bristles, so I think that's why the paper towel works so well to dry it back out. Jen said, where did your name Lacri come from? It's a combination. The L and A are for my name, Lisa, and the CHRI is for my sister's name, Christy, CHRISTI. People always ask, oh, are you close? No, not at all. She's in California. We're very, very different. She's great. She's in California, and we just were never close. So yeah, she's not, people are like, is she an artist? No, she's not, but she cooks. Like, she's my opposite in so many ways. She cooks. I don't cook at all. I made bird bread once for my birds, but like cooking for people, I have zero interest in. So my sister is like an amazing cook. She's really good she's good at all the things I'm terrible at. So yeah. But that name came from my mom used to breed Basset Hounds and Shih Tzus and Himalayan cats. Well, I think the Himalayan cat thing didn't last long. We ended up just keeping the mom. Was a terrible mom, and she was my best cat in the world. Like, she was amazing. I grew up with this cat. But yeah, the Lacri was the breeder name my mom used. That was back in the 80s. She does not breed anymore. Let's see. Francis Rose said, are Taklon brushes good for acrylic? Absolutely. Taklon bristles are my favorites in most cases for acrylics. But I mean, I still want some that are my synthetic hog hair. I really like those for certain things. So, you know, it depends on the technique I'm doing, but Taklon is my normal go-to brush. Let's see. I guess the question was, are the white Taklon brushes good for acrylics? They're fine. Or the medium or soft. Now, I prefer the more stiff for acrylic than the softer. The softer, certain techniques I like them for, but usually I lean more towards something that has a little bit more firmness. Like Simply Simmons is a great example because it's a little bit more firm than some of the other ones. Let's see. Patty said, would a sea sponge work for the foliage? Absolutely. You definitely could do the sea sponge and block that in to get the foliage. Just make sure you're turning it like I did with the brush to get some variation. It's very easy to take a sea sponge and go dab, 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 and it's the exact pattern every time, and it ends up looking very unnatural. So make sure you're just turning and twisting that as you go. Jen said, you need to spray your palette at all. I find my acrylics get a skin on the palette. The parts where I'm mixing, that does start to dry, and yeah, you could spray it if you want to keep that wet. I just keep remixing as I need to. The globs of paint, that stays wet. That's not been a problem for me, but the, the parts where I've mixed water and thinned it out, that dries really quickly, and I just remix as I need to or scrape it up if it dries completely. But you could mist it to keep it wet if you wanted to. Terry Girl Studio said, I've discovered your channel recently and want to thank you so much for all the valuable content you put out. Oh, thank you. I've been learning a lot and really appreciate your teaching style. Oh, thank you. That makes me happy. Baby Pandas said, what are you going to do with all those spiders, Lisa? Good question. I need to contact our local reptile stores. There's 2 of them, and they likely will take some of the babies. I'll give some to friends. Part of me, because they're so cute, I'm like, screw it. I'm just keeping them all. They're all mine. I mean, if whatever I don't find homes for, I'm going to keep. So it's like they're always, and it's hard. This is why I can't be like a normal breeder of animals like birds. I won't let Sushi and Loki breed because I would have, and I always joke that Matt would be the one who can get rid of the babies. I would have a hard time with it because you put so much work into making everything perfect, everything, their diet, everything. I mean, I put so much work into these baby spiders, for example, and I'm so worried as soon as I place them, that person isn't going to do what needs to be done to take care of them. They're not going to have the right humidity. They're not going to have the right food. They're not going to feed them enough, or they're going to feed them too much, or you start into, like, I go down that, I could never breed animals like regularly because I would end up in a hoarding situation like I currently am with my spiders. But I mean, they're spiders in little cups, so it's not a big deal. Yeah. So, but I do have 2 reptile stores near me that will likely take a large portion of them. And then, of course, I've got some friends I'm going to give them to. Let's see, some I'm definitely keeping. Cat's Art Pick said, watching you over the years has made a big impact on how I create work. Yay! My skills have improved and you have made a big difference in my life. Lisa, thank you. Oh, I just got goosebumps again. Oh, thank you. That's 2 times of goosebumps in like 5 minutes. Brittany Daniel said, how did you come up with okay, I answered that one. Let's see. Man, I made it through those questions quick. What else do you guys want to talk about? Let's see. Oh, I want to show you too. I also have, let's see. Nope, that's that one. If you are unfamiliar, actually, let's start it this way. If you're not already a member over on Patreon, for as little as $6 a month, you get access to all of my longer tutorials. I've been making lessons there since 2014, so there's a lot. And new ones almost every week. And I want to show you some of the newest ones we've had. And again, it's a little $6 a month. These lessons are anywhere from 1 hour to 2, 3, 4 hours. Like, we're talking long lessons. And which, was it that one? Nope, this one. So some of the things that we've had recently, oops. This one was a pan pastel and colored pencil lesson, and you can see the line art that it comes with, and then I've got my color swatches to help you. We talked a little bit about, in that one, about choosing colors, especially for something that is more surreal, where you don't have one reference photo you're going with. I used, what, 1, 2, 3 or 4 reference photos on this guy. We had this owl in acrylics. This lesson is also available right now for you to follow along with. I've got, this one was this week's lessons, Gala, whatever, cockatoo in Inktense. We have this, oh, this one I love. It's actually behind me right now. The cardinal in acrylics. That was a bigger one. And that lesson, if you're not interested in surreal work, you don't have to do the whole thing. You can just paint the first part of the lesson is just showing you how to do the landscape portion. So you can do whatever parts you want. And then, whoops, I had that one. Was that all of them? Where is this one? I don't know what this one was. It's not showing. Cancel that. Cancel. What are you doing? Hold on, something's freaking out on me. There should be one more showing for you. But it's doing something weird. I don't know what the other one was I was going to show you. There was a third, but it's being ridiculous, so we're just not going to worry about it anymore because it's not that important. But those are some of the more recent ones that we've had over on Patreon, and that's for as little as $6 a month. You get all of those plus like 400 more, and new ones almost every week. We've got all kinds of rewards over there. There are reference photos and tons of stuff, tons of sketchbook prompts, daily sketchbook prompts, to just stuff to help you get going with your art and to keep up with your art. And there's a tiny little bird moving around back here. Come here. Come here. You're kind of getting tangled in here. Hi, baby. Kisses. Okay, and back in the hair he goes. There, sit out where people can see your adorableness. Brittany said, for those that own the right type of iPad, Astropad sells a dartboard iPad drawing pad to put the iPad in to make it more comfortable to create art on. The iPad's currently supported. Oh, that's interesting. That's cool. Yeah, I've been working, that's one of the things that I started doing. My tablet, I've got a walk-in, so I have my walking tablet. That's actually what I did the ghost reference photo on. But I also have my Samsung, what is it, a Samsung S9 something plus, I don't know, the middle-sized one. But I'm using Art Rage on it, and I started a new project with a leopard. It's kind of, my goal is to end up making it a surreal one, but I changed it completely from what the reference photo was, the lighting. I'm all excited because I made it a daytime one, a nighttime scene. Anyway, I have that going, a project, and one of my goals is to always have an art project ready to go. It's all drawn out already. I already started working on them last night. Already there, because one of the things that I find, I don't know if you guys do this, but I'll be like late at night, I'm kind of tired, I don't feel like starting a new project, I don't want to drag out my art supplies, I might be listening to a book or watching a show on YouTube, and I just don't like have the oomph to get up and do anything. I can grab my tablet now, and I've already got a project started, the reference photos right there, like there's no work, it's just right there ready to go. So that is going to be one of my new things, and I am recording what I'm doing, so I'll make a video out of it. It'll take me longer than usual to do because it's not going to be one that I'm rushing through. It's just like those times where I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm going to drink my cup of coffee. What do I want to do with my hands? Bird is tangled up. There, you can see his little butt back there. You may think I'm getting a bunch of bird poop in my hair. He won't poop when he sits on my shoulder. It's part of me thinks it's good and part of me has to remember to bring him out. He'll poop when I hold him away from me, but wherever he's like nested into my hair, he didn't go at all. So you may be thinking I'm having a mess. If it was chicken, I wouldn't be letting him in my hair like this. But anyway, so having that on my tablet already ready to go, always have a project, whether it could be a rose, something that you're drawing on. It's just kind of nice to have that to pick up and start going. I used to do that with sketchbooks when I was younger, before the digital age of things. I always had a sketchbook and I'd be, you know, draw another whale, draw another whatever. But I'm going to try to do that, keep up with this with, where are you going, baby? You're getting like way in there. This is what all parrotlets do, by the way. Say goodbye to brushed hair. So anyway, yeah, that has been helpful. It's been fun. It's only been a couple of days, but it's been nice because there have been those times where I'm like, I'm just going to sit here and drink coffee, but I'm bored. I want to do so. Right there, just grab my tablet, work on a few little hairs, a few little marks. It's all, again, everything's ready. I don't have to go get my supplies. It's just there. So that is what I've been doing, and it has been nice. Let's see. Let's see, I just became a patron and I've been watching all day. Greetings from the Netherlands. Nice, thank you. Yay. I didn't try to say your name because I would butcher the heck out of it and I would feel really bad. Let's see, Stacy said, I'm thinking of listing my art on Fine Art America. Do you have any tips or suggestions for somebody new going in that direction? So I did the pro account. It's like $30 or $35. I don't know what it is now. And I can have as many prints as I want on there. I have had a few people contact me a few times to buy paintings on there. The problem is I always forget that I have, like, you can't buy a painting directly from their website. It just says that it's available and to contact me. But I sometimes forget that I've sold things to go to Fine Art America and take it off of there. So that's been a thing. But Fine Art America only works if you send people there. Like, people find Fine Art America, wow, coffee. Fine Art America through my website or an outside link if they're looking for a Lacry, but they don't find it because they would just happen to be searching on Fine Art America and they came across one of my paintings and they bought it. Like, that is just pretty much never how they're going to find you. They're going to find you because you sent them there. The build it, no, will come. That's not a thing. Build it and then tell people about it. That is how you're going to sell there. It has 100% been worth it to me. I don't sell, now it has been it's been over 5 years. But 5 years ago, a friend of mine had bought a sweatshirt with my art on it. And when she showed it to me in person, it was like, oh, contact them and get your money back. That is horrible. And I pulled all of the sweatshirts off of the site. It was so badly printed. I mean, it was just junk. So there are some products on there I don't sell my stuff on, but like the prints and stuff, those have all been good. The puzzles are great quality. So yeah, I really like it. I sell it, like t-shirts and stuff come from Teespring, way better quality. I've been very happy with them, and they have the best customer service. So if there's ever a problem, like if somebody ordered something from you, a t-shirt, and it didn't print, because I've had this happen multiple times with stuff I ordered from them, the print was bad, I contact them, they send me a new one and tell me to either donate, keep, whatever, the damaged one. So I get extra painting sweatshirts. I mean, they're not good enough to wear in public because the print was like came off, but like their customer service is so good. So I use Teespring for t-shirts, sweatshirts, my hoodies, which, yay, it's getting to hoodie weather again, so I get to start wearing them. I need to design some new ones. But yeah, that is what I use for that. I don't do Fine Art America with that. And Fine Art America, I keep saying, I can't talk. Fine Art America, again, I like them for their prints, but they are hard to get a hold of their customer service from what I understand. So I'm not comfortable selling something like the t-shirts with them where they are prone to having print issues, because I don't know if my customers are going to get help with that. So I don't sell anything like that on their site. But yeah, the lacrymerch.com, that is where I sell my printed like t-shirts, sweatshirts, all of those. Been super happy with it. That's Teespring, or just Spring is what they call themselves now. And that I definitely recommend if you want that sort of merch. But your prints, puzzles, those, I do like Fine Art America. But again, you have to send people there. They're not just going to show up because your shop got opened up. You're not going to get any. I don't get many sales because I don't send people there often enough myself. I need to start making a point to tell people about that. But yeah, let's see. Where are we? I'm just scrolling through. We've got 4 more minutes. Looks like you guys are giving each other tips on not having a mess. If you ever have a hard time keeping, off hardwood floors and paint, so if you have somebody who's painting and you're messy, your kids are messy, whoever, with painting, one of the things that I did to protect my carpet was to get one of those big canvas drop cloths from like Home Depot or Lowe's, but you want to get one that's waterproof. The normal ones, paint can still soak through, but like an actual, like the bottom was coated with something. I kept that because I lived with my in-laws for a long time when we moved to Texas. And I did not want to ruin her carpet. So the bad thing is we lived there so long, that carpet in that room looked brand freaking new, and the rest of the house had been worn by that point. But it was a good carpet though, so it all washed up nicely. But anyway, I put that over everything in that room, wall to wall, put that down. It was under the furniture, and then I threw area rugs and stuff on top to keep it, you know, that made it look homey and nice and pretty. But if you have like a bedroom that somebody is painting in, it will work so well at protecting floors. Just make sure you get the waterproof one. But it was nice because it was nice to walk on. If you do a plastic tarp, you're walking on a plastic tarp and it's kind of uncomfortable. So if it's something that you know someone's going to be painting in all the time, I found it to be really easy. And I did this in my apartment too, just the whole room, wall to wall, canvas tarp, or not, yeah, canvas tarp that had the waterproof stuff on it. And then I put an area rug on top so it looked nice. Nice. I mean, it wasn't going to be in Home and Gardens or anything because it was a canvas tarp on the bedroom floor, but it protected the carpet. I wasn't worried about spilling. That was great, and especially in an apartment because, I don't know, that carpet should have been replaced before I moved in there, so I wasn't that worried about it. I was definitely getting my deposit back either way on that one, but yeah, that definitely has been like, that was like my best tip. Now, when we moved to this house, I got the wood look tile floor. I had to put in every room. I can spill anything and it does not matter. A razor blade will get paint off the floor. I know. I've done it a lot in this room. So yeah, I love tile. But yeah, the canvas drop cloths are amazing. Let's see. Oops. And we've got, you want Zombie to have it was Zombie. Is that what it was next week? I meant to ask you, Nick, because I knew that there was something that I agreed to with you. Zombie, not zombie snail. We're doing Zombie next week, right? Is that what it was? He sent me some images that were really funny. I need to come up with a design on that one too. And so next week is going to be acrylics as well, because it's another kind of surreal thing that I need to be able to do it quickly. Zombie, that was it. Let's see. Brittany said, can I please have a clickable link to what you recommend to protect the carpets when painting, since I live in a 3-bedroom apartment? I don't have a link. Just go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, find like a thick, whatever thick one you can find, canvas drop cloth, but waterproof. I probably spent like $40 on them, and it was so worth it. It was more expensive than the other drop cloths, but because it was waterproof on the bottom. Now, if you spill enough water, it probably could soak through, but it was no problem for any amount of paint that I spilled. Airbrush, the airbrush was the worst, because that's what I am prone, dripping airbrush paint. Like, I spill it all the time, and that stuff stains carpet. So yeah, it was good for that, but I don't have a link because it's been years since I bought one, and the one that I was using at my in-laws, they no longer had different brands or whatever, because that was a very long time ago. But yeah, God, that one was that 2007, 2008. It's been a while. So yeah, I don't have a link for you, just any drop cloth, like painter's drop cloth, but you want canvas, you want one that says it's waterproof or has some sort of a backing on it. Yeah, Nick's making the glary face. He had that same incident with airbrush. Like, seriously, the carpet under me, most of this paint on here is from, well, some of it's from acrylics, but most of it's from airbrush. Oh, you just fell, baby bird. Come here. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. Come out of my hair. Come say goodbye to everybody. Hi, baby. Seriously, cutest baby bird. Oh, you're so frumpy with all those feathers. He wants back. He doesn't even care. He's like, just let me back on the shoulder. Huh. Show him how cute. I don't know if you can see how green his face is getting. It doesn't really show up that much on the camera. Getting so much green, huh? Okay, fine, you can go back. Thank you guys so much. Congratulations to whoever just won the ghost, and back in the hair. Whoever won the ghost painting, I'll show you again what you're getting. How cute is he? This is one of my favorites I've done in a, like, I just love yeah, him. That just made it for me. So cute. Anyway, I will see you guys next week with, I believe it's Zombie we're doing, and Is that it? I think that's it. Thank you guys so much. Oh, check out our moderators channels. Links are in the video description. And yeah, we're all done. I will see you guys next week for our next week. Is it next week, our Halloween one, or the week after? Wait, hold on. Oh, the week after is the Halloween one. So we have zombie. Yeah, I'm not sure what next week is then. Maybe it's next week. I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.